Welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Lee. We do a lot of from scratch cooking. Today we're going to do some low carb recipes. So today we'll do 3 different recipes. We are going to do a chicken pizza pocket, low carb. We're also going to do some chicken nuggets, which are low carb as well. And we're also going to try the 2 ingredient pancakes. And no, there's no cottage cheese in it. It is cream cheese. So we're going to give all these a go and see how they go. So I've had some recipes in the background that I've had sitting there and I've been wanting to try. So we're going to try all 3 of them tonight and we're going to see how good they really turn out. So for the pizza pocket, we're going to need some chicken mince. So I'm just using half of this. We're going to need some mozzarella and also any toppings that you usually want to put in your pizza pocket or a calzone or anything like that. So I have a little bit of tomato paste. You want something that's pretty dry or else it's going to put too much moisture in it. And I'm going to put some pepperoni in it. So I'm going to make a pepperoni calzone or pizza pocket, whatever you call it. And then we're going to use some parmesan. Now, this is just your average parmesan. It doesn't actually have any anti-caking agents or anything. It's just parmesan that's been dehydrated. So I'm going to use that as a coating on the outside to actually make it nice and crisp. So for this recipe, I actually found no actual recipe for this. It's just on TikTok and I'm kind of winging it. So what I'm going to do is I've got some parmesan here. I'm just going to put this onto a piece of greaseproof paper. That's going to season our chicken and it's also going to create the crust. And it's also going to stop it from actually sticking to the actual crust. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to settle with 250 grams of chicken, which I think is like half a pound. And then I'm just going to put a little bit more. I'm going to treat this parmesan like flour. And then we're going to put another piece of parchment paper on top, greaseproof paper. And we're just going to flatten this out till it's one single round. So I'm going to probably make 2 of these tonight. All right, so I just made one. It was a bit of a challenge. The chicken kept on sticking to the actual greaseproof paper and everything, which was just hell and everything. So I'm going to try to do it again. Make my second one. This time I'm going to use plenty of parmesan on the greaseproof paper. Get a really good single layer there. This chicken mince is a little wet, so that might be the same reason as well why it didn't work perfectly. And then before I get any thinner, I'm just going to add a bit of parmesan to stop it from sticking. So you can see why I'm using the really cheap parmesan. All right, so there we go. Again, it was a challenge trying to get that greaseproof paper off. Maybe if you try with maybe foil or something. So we're going to go in with our tomato paste, pepperoni, bit of basil, some cheese, and now we're going to try and fold this up. Hopefully it does not disintegrate like last time. All right, definitely make sure you get enough Parmesan on your actual, treat that stuff like flour. Right, so that looks pretty good. So you get some extra Parmesan on the top here. Get all that sealed up. And now I'm going to get this into the air fry tray. All right, so there we go. I'm going to get these into my air fryer. I'm going to cook these at 180 degrees for about 20 minutes and we'll see how they go from there. All right, so while those pizza pockets are in the air fryer, we're going to get our chicken nuggets ready. So I'm using a recipe from Hungry Happens, and I'll link the recipe down below. There was a few other recipes such as one with canned chicken and everything, but canned chicken isn't really readily available here in Australia. There's tiny cans of it and it's really expensive. So I wanted something with some ground chicken and I found this recipe, so I'm going to give this one a go. It looks pretty simple and I'm sure it's going to turn out good. So here's the ingredients, and as I said, I'm going to do a half recipe. So I've got 500 grams of chicken mince here. I've got 1 egg. I've got a 1/4 cup of mozzarella cheese. I've got a 1/6 cup of Parmesan cheese. I've just filled the 1/3 cup up halfway. For the coating on the outside, you're going to use Parmesan cheese and some potato starch. I'm going to leave the potato starch out of it, and I'm just going to use this, and I'm going to add some seasonings into that as well. So it's pretty simple, and I hope it turns out good. So as it goes with the recipe, it says just to combine all the ingredients, but I'm going to go one extra step. This mozzarella cheese, just so it gets combined a lot better, I'm just going to grab a knife and I'm just going to run it through it. And let's get it chopped up just a little bit more, just so it gets all distributed for that chicken a lot better. And my guess is this is going to be the glue for the actual chicken to make sure it stays together, as well as the egg. And then the Parmesan is going to be like your breadcrumbs basically that go in it. All right, that looks a bit better. So I've got my chicken mince in a bowl here. I'm going to add our egg. And I'm just going to combine these firstly. And the more you work this, the more you can actually work these proteins in the chicken. And it's going to actually make it a bit more sticky. And it's going to make it a lot easier to actually create these nuggets. So that as well. I know there's going to be Parmesan and it's got salt in it. I'm going to add a bit of salt, but I don't think it's going to need heaps. I was thinking about adding some chicken bouillon, but I don't have any actually powdered stuff, so that'll probably go good in this. Just to get that chickeny flavour out. So I'm going to add our Parmesan. So add just a little bit more Parmesan just to bring it together. So in a separate bowl, I'm going to add my Parmesan. These packets only cost $2, so it looks like a lot, but it doesn't actually cost that much. And this is where you can just go to town, add whatever you want. So I'm going to add some paprika, just a dash of cayenne, and then I'm going to add some garlic powder and onion powder. If your garlic seems to actually clump up, keep it in the fridge, it keeps it completely separated. So that one. some of the onion. I'm not going to add any salt to this because the Parmesan's already salty. All right, and so to form our chicken nuggets, I had to play around for a second. We can use 2 spoons, get it into our Parmesan. And then we just want to use a fork, just to gently just flatten that out a little bit. Get them kind of looking like a chicken nugget. Like so. And then I'm just going to put it on a plate for now until our air fryer is ready. I'm very glad I didn't do a full batch because I think this would have been a massive batch. But that's okay. Alright, I'll see you back when they are all done. Alright, so that's all our chicken nuggets done. So I've made them a little bigger than you normally would, and that's just because the recipe did say they will shrink over time. So made them just sizable, but I'm going to be honest, you couldn't say these are chicken nuggets to your kids or anything like that. So now the pizza pockets have actually just finished in the air fryer. So I ended up cooking them for about 25 minutes. I also sprayed them with a little bit of olive oil as well, which has helped brown them a little bit. So let's take a look at them. They're a bit juicy. And there we go. They look pretty good. I'm going to take them off the greaseproof paper and put them aside. We're going to let them cool down, and then we're going to get our nuggets into the air fryer. So the underside of these did actually catch on the actual greaseproof paper and I had to actually peel it off, and it's pretty sticky. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm going to just put a little bit of Parmesan on this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them into the air fryer, add a little bit of olive oil on top, and then hopefully they should come out a little bit crispier. So I'm just going to put these back in the oven for about 5 minutes and just see if they actually crisp them up a little bit. All right, so I'll put them in for about another 5 minutes with a bit of Parmesan on top, and that just looks so much better. So we're going to put these aside. We're going to take these out. Look, just look at this right now, you couldn't actually tell this was actually chicken. You'd think it was actually dough from a distance. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put all my chicken nuggets onto my air fry fryer, and I'm going to cook these at 200 degrees Celsius or around 400 degrees Fahrenheit because they're pretty hot. And we're going to spray some olive oil onto them, and then halfway through, at about 10-minute mark, we're going to turn them over, add some olive oil to that side, and get them nice and golden. See, don't they actually look good? They look pretty good. I'm quite happy with them considering how much hard work they were. So now we're going to put our chicken nuggets in here. We'll probably have to do 2 batches. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray these with some olive oil. And then I'm going to get these into the air fryer, cook them for about 10 minutes, and I'll turn them over and then cook them for about another 10 minutes. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. So I thought the recipe said these were going to actually shrink. Maybe they'll shrink when they actually cool. They've actually inflated. So I'm just going to go over these with some olive oil on this side. And honestly, I think these I'm going to need maybe another 5 minutes until they're done. So I'll see you back when they're done. All right, I left these in for about another 5 minutes, and you can see how much they have actually inflated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these about 5 minutes to actually cool down, and then we're going to try them out, and then we're going to make dessert. All right, so let's give these a go. First, I'm going to start with our pizza pocket. So I'm just going to cut this in half. All right, let's give this one a go. I have to say, it's pretty good. I will just say, with the Parmesan, it is a bit salty. So you do want to watch how much salt you do add to your chicken. But I think it's a really good idea. But would I make this every single day? Probably not. But if I was doing carnivore and I really felt like something like a calzone or something like that, I think this goes pretty good. All right, so let's give our chicken nuggets a go. They have deflated a little bit. And I've just got some keto barbecue sauce here. Okay, so these chicken nuggets are actually really good. They have a really good texture. They're not like your crispy nuggets that you get. They're probably a bit like your, kind of like your Macca's nuggets, whereas the outside's, you know, a bit softer and everything. But they have really good flavor. They're not too salty. And I think when you pair them with a sauce or something, they're actually really good. So if you've got, someone that's got diabetes, or if you're just watching your weight and you want to watch the game or something with something to munch on, these are absolutely amazing. So I would definitely give these ones a go again, and I think you should definitely give these ones a go as well. So I'm just gonna have a little rest, and then we're gonna make dessert. All right, so I'm back. We're gonna make our low carb pancakes now. And they just use 2 ingredients. They use half a tub of cream cheese, so 125 grams, and 4 eggs, and that's it. Now I'm gonna add a couple of things to this. I'm gonna add some vanilla. I'm gonna add a little bit of sweetener as well. And I think that should round them out a little bit nicer. But keep in mind, if you're doing carnivore or something, you can just do the cream cheese and eggs if you wanna keep it super clean. So for this recipe, we're gonna need 125 grams of cream cheese. So this is half a tub here. And you want to put it into a bowl that you can actually blend this in. And now I'm just going to crack 4 eggs into this. And now I'm just going to add, a few drops of monk fruit, just maybe like 10 drops or something, and a little bit of vanilla. As I said, completely optional, but I think it's going to go with it. Maybe just a pinch of salt. All right, now I'm going to whisk this up until it's one smooth consistency. And that's it for that. And I'll see you at the stove. So I'm just going to get this frying pan heating up on like a medium low heat. All right, so I've just let that heat up a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of butter. And I want to reduce this heat to like a medium low, because we're going to have to cook these pretty low and slow. So I'm going to leave this for maybe around 2 minutes, I think. And then once we see the holes like pop through like a normal pancake, I'm going to try and flip it. Hopefully works all right. It has a bit of a matte look to it. It's not as shiny as it was. I'm going to try and turn it now. Well, it's not sticking, that's good. And then once we get some colour on this side, that's about done. That's it. That first one did break, but we'll see how they turn out. So I'm finding my issue is actually turning them, not actually with them breaking apart or anything like that. And here we go. Here is our 2-ingredient pancakes. And you know what? They're super pliable. Like, you could wrap these up with stuff and everything. They were a little tricky to actually flip and everything. I wouldn't make them too big, so keep them pretty smallish to make them flippable. And make sure to use a bit of butter or oil something with each cook, or else they're going to stick. So let's get some maple syrup on these and give them a go. So I'm just going to use some Lakanto, keep it low carb. I'm going to be naughty and just dig into all these. So it's half a cup of cream, so it's half a cup of cream cheese and 4 eggs. So that's all the protein for the day. These are quite satiating, so you're not going to want to eat a lot of them. I'm already still pretty full from eating the other things as well. So let's give them a go. So firstly, I have to say, well, it tastes amazing. To be honest, like, just because it's eggs and cream cheese, it does taste nothing like cream cheese. And just adding that little bit of vanilla actually gives it that real kind of pancake vibe. And I have to say, that it's very neutral tasting, and you could almost like give these to someone and they wouldn't even know. So if you're doing carnivore or you're doing keto, this recipe, definitely go for it. Absolutely love it. So overall, for the Hot Pocket, it was pretty good, but it was too much of a hassle to actually do and everything. I would rather just make like my 3-ingredient pizza crust. That is really good, and I think that would probably go a little better than that. The chicken nuggets are actually really good, so I would do that on like maybe a football day or something like that. So somewhere where you can share them and everything, and or finger food or anything like that. They turns out actually pretty good. And these pancakes, absolutely delicious. I would definitely make these ones again. So if you're keto or low carb or carnivore, give these ones a go. So if you've tried any of these recipes, I'm keen to know how well they actually went for you and how much you actually enjoyed them. So let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.